I really want to be Prime Minister, but I have no money to start a campaign.
Hold on there. I think I can help with that.
Who are you?
I'm Sir Hugh Allen, here to grant your 3 wishes.
Really?
No, I'm just here to fulfill my own wishes.
Oh.
But lucky for you, they align with your wishes.
Huh? What are your wishes?
Only to build the most amazing railroad known to man.
Amazing.
I know, right? Anyways, I need your permission as Prime Minister to let me do that. So I'll fund your campaign, but you have to let me make that railroad, okay?
Yes, anything.
Alright then, it's a deal.
The Canadian Pacific Railroad. What a beautiful thing. In short, you can even call it CPR. It saves lives, it transports goods, it is fast and furious, it is perfect. I bet that the process of building it was beautiful. I bet everyone was super happy while building it. There was no way this railroad was built on someone else's land. There was probably just a massive plot of unoccupied land. There was definitely not a single person who was underpaid during its creation. Not possible. In fact, I bet no one even died.
Hi.
Hi, I'm here to teach you about the CPR.
I think I need CPR.
No, you don't. Anyways, for starters, let's explain when the idea of the CPR first began. It all began on a fateful day somewhere in 1872.
Are you really going to fund everything for me?
Yes, I am.
Great, let's sign a contract. Where did you even get the money from? I bet you're just naturally super rich.
Yo, can I have some money?
Sure thing.
And that was the start of the CPR.
Didn't the railroad only start to build in 1881?
Yes, it was supposed to start, but MacDonald resigned.
Why?
Because what just happened was the Pacific Scandal! It was exposed by Norris for $5,000.
Holy cow!
And then MacDonald disappeared off the face of the earth.
And he never came back again and everyone lived happily ever after?
No, he had to come back.
Oh.
In the fateful year of 1878, MacDonald had the greatest comeback in history! And then he approved of the Canadian Pacific Railroad.
Uh-oh.
And then in 1881, they started building the CPR, a transcontinental railroad to connect Eastern Canada to British Columbia, a railroad to the future, and also to keep out the pesky Americans.
I'm not pesky.
You literally tried to take over the prairies.
They were mine in the first place.
Bye. Back on point. The CPR was also built to transport goods all over Canada and act as a convenience for everyone. And it was built on the First Nations territory.
Well, what happened to the First Nations living there? What happened? What happened?
That happened just as As you guessed it, the immigrants took over the First Nations territory and they got moved to the reserves.
The reserves were nice, right?
If you consider this nice, then yeah, they were amazing.
That's awful!
Sure is.
How did they even agree to moving there?
They didn't.
What? How much people were moved away forcefully?
Roughly 5,000.
Oh, well, I guess most of them still got to keep their land.
From only the Cypress Hills of Saskatchewan.
Well, I'm sure after that they stopped, right?
That was only in the 1800s.
I think I need CPR again.
Anyways, there's no actual number for how much of the First Nations that were displaced, since there were too many to count. However, after the First Nations were out of the land, it was time to build the CPR!
Let's have a quiz. Who built most of the CPR? Was it A, the Chinese, B, the Irish, C, the British, D, the African Canadians, or E, the Indigenous people of Canada? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer was the Chinese!
The Chinese?
Yes, the Chinese. They built over 90% of the whole entire railroad from 1881 to 1885. A shocking amount.
I bet they were paid like $10,000 a day.
Nope, they were paid $1 a day.
$1?
That's right, $1. Oh yes, the white workers were paid $2.50 a day, which is 2.5 times the amount the Chinese got paid.
Oh, come on, that's not fair. I guess they're still lucky they got $1 a day, considering that back then it was probably worth a lot.
Well, let's not forget the Chinese head tax, which was introduced after the completion of the CPR.
The Chinese what?
The Chinese head tax. Everyone that was Chinese had to pay $50 to the government.
Man, that sucks. I hope they didn't get a bad work environment.
Haha, about that.
They got a bad work environment.
Indeed, the Chinese workers were not only paid less, they were also assigned to the worst parts of the railway. The roughest route, which is in Sierra Nevada's Cape Horn, was the toughest route of them all. You can probably guess that it was assigned to the Chinese workers. These people were tasked with removing the boulders and trees from the cliffs. May I remind you that there were no safety rails?
How much did they earn in China? They must have been really desperate if they came to work here.
Well, back in China, they earned $10 a year.
Suddenly, this makes a lot more sense.
Yup.
Did any of the Chinese die during its creation?
Sadly, over 1,200 Chinese workers died during the building of the Transcontinental Railroad. In fact, it is said that for every mile of track, 3 Chinese people passed away. Their bones were shipped back to China to have a proper burial.
That is so depressing.
It is. The worst thing is, they don't even get as much recognition.
What?
Well, when you look back at the historical photos of the CPR, you cannot find a singular Chinese person, even if they built over 90% of the railroad.
But that's unfair.
Well, to be honest, everything was pretty unfair back then. Anyways, let's play another game!
Uh-oh.
Let's have another quiz. Who nailed the last nail of the CPR in 1885? Was it A, John A. MacDonald, B, George Bush, C, Abraham Lincoln, D, Sir Hugh Allen, or E, Donald A. Smith? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer was E, Donald A. Smith.
Wait, what? How is this guy even important?
Well, to be fair, he wasn't that important. He was only the director of the CPR. You don't have to remember much. Just the fact that he nailed in the last nail of the CPR and he finished it on November 7th, 1885.
That's like forcing someone to finish a puzzle and just putting on the last piece.
You got it! Anyways, that is the history of the CPR.
What the? Then why was the CPR even built? I mean, all it did was just take free labor and kick the First Nations out of their land. There aren't even that many benefits. Heck, it's not even that important. I bet it didn't contribute a single thing to the Canada we live in today.
Well, buddy, that's where you're wrong. The CPR is the very foundation of Canada. In fact, it is why we have such a good economy today.
Oh.
After the CPR was built, transporting goods became much easier, and instead of walking hours on end to find the market, they could just dump it in on a massive train.
Well, that's nice.
There's more. Since the railroad provided an easier transportation system, it also boosted Canada's economy, making Canada what it is like today. It also cost us a drastic sum of money, to which it kind of led to the downfall of our economy, but we don't talk about that.
What?
Anyways, another benefit of the CPR is tourism.
Tourism?
Yes, tourism. After the CPR was built, it invoked tourism.
Oh.
In which the railroad was so beautiful, everyone wanted to see it.
Really?
Yeah, in fact, let's go see it now.
Oh my! This track and scenery is beautiful.
I told you so. Anyways, in some ways, the CPR even united Canada.
What?
Since it was a transcontinental railroad, it meant that all the provinces were connected, making Canada a whole nation, leading to Confederation.
I guess the railroad wasn't so bad after all.
Oh yeah, and it also contributed to global warming, and it destroyed the natural habitats of thousands of animals. And that's everything.
I need CPR.
Well, considering the fact that you're breathing normally, I don't think you need it.
CPR!
You're perfectly fine. You don't need it.
No, the CPR!